Hey everyone, I just wanted to make this quick tutorial to clear up some things regarding Milestone 4 as well as Lecture 16 lecture work. So basically, the assignment for Lecture 16, your lecture work assignment, was doing the first part of Milestone 4. So that drawing would be out of the way for you. So you were to create it, and it would look just like the second to the last PowerPoint slide, but regarding whatever Lego project you were designing. Then you were to submit it as your lecture work assignment for that day, and then save it in your Milestone 4 folder for a future submission when the milestone is due. So let's just go over what was expected, and if you have any problems with your drawing for your Milestone 4, you can correct it now before the actual milestone is due. However, you can't go back to correct the lecture work, but you get the points for trying to create it, if that makes sense. So to begin, let's go in and create a new drawing. So I just opened up SOLIDWORKS, went to new and drawing. You can also have your part already open and then create a new drawing from there. Remember, if you are lost, go back through the PowerPoint for Lecture 16. It walks you step by step on how to create a new title block and sheet setup. So we are going to begin by creating our first title block. This just kind of covers the lecture work assignment, plus gets you ready for all your drawings for your Lego project. So go down, you want to choose A3 ISO. This is going to give you the best setup. And then just hit OK. So at first, we're not going to start with a model view, so you can exit out of that window. Remember, you can follow along with the tutorial or with the PowerPoint, because I'm just following the PowerPoint as I do this. So right click and go to Edit Sheet Format. Now you can see this all pops up blue. We have the icon up on the top right that will bring us back to our normal page. So if you did have a part already created, it should go away when you're editing the sheet format. Don't freak out. You can select this icon and bring back your drawing. So let's zoom in. Okay, so to begin with, I'm going to start at the top here. So I'm going to keep the Do Not Scale drawing. For revision, I'm just going to double click in this area and put revision A, because this is our first revision. For title, double click. This is going to be Lego project. Remember, we're making this template so you can reuse it. The A3 can stay. Now drawing number, when you have a part or an assembly that's already created and you open up a drawing from it, it will automatically put in the right drawing number. However, because for your configurations that we're going to make this drawing was built under your skinny brick file, that drawing number would come up as skinny brick. We want it to say configurations because this is now part of our Lego project. So I'm just going to manually change that drawing number to say configurations. This will go no matter what class you're in. I'm going to select the fit to text just so I can scale it down a little bit so it fits a little better in that space. Okay, now your company name needs to go up here. Since there is no box to create it, you can come up under the annotation tab, go to A note, and place in a text box. So this would be company name. So for you, you are not going to write company name. You're going to write the name of your company that all your milestones in your Lego project go for. So if you are building the off-roader, it is Get Outdoors Inc. If you're building the fire truck, it is Boise Fire Department with a Z. If you are building the helicopter, it is Safe Outdoors Inc. So just put in the right company name here. I'm just going to leave it company name for now. We can hit OK and move that over. So now this is all finished. Scale sheet 101 is going to be the same. We don't need the weight, so I'm just going to click it and delete it. Material. I'm going to double click it and put ABS plastic. Now this you will leave for almost all of your Lego parts except the tire. We don't need the break sharp edges, so I'm going to delete that. Now we don't need a finish, so I'm going to delete that. We're just getting rid of the extra fluff. When you're dealing with a company, they're going to have the title block already made for you. I just want the main information on your title blocks for your Lego projects. So for the unless otherwise specified dimensions are in millimeters, I am going to leave that. However, we're not dealing with a surface finish tolerance in this part, so I'm going to delete that, but I am going to hit enter and add in the note of fillet all edges a radius of 0.10 millimeters. Now I don't have to call out this note in my drawing itself because it's on the title block. I am going to move that over. However, now we need our date, so I'm going to move that over. We need our signature, and we need our name. We don't need any of this other stuff. So just delete everything that has a text box. Now when you go to delete your lines, you can't just select all of the lines. Like this line goes all the way through. If you delete it, you cannot bring it back unless you undo. You can sketch a new line, but it will be much thinner. So some of the lines like this one we can just delete. Some of these vertical lines we can just delete. But this line, since it is shared, we're actually going to just grab the endpoint and move it over. So I'm just clicking on all these lines, moving the ones over that are shared, and deleting the extras. Alright. So I'm going to zoom in a little more. I'm actually going to pull this line out a little bit so we have more room for our name and our signature, and less room for the date. Okay, so make sure we drag everything else over so everything's lined up nicely. Bring our endpoints all so they match up. If your drawing does this, you have an endpoint connected. So select it. Make sure this endpoint doesn't have a coincident relationship. If it does, just delete it. Remember, you can select your line and have it be vertical if you want. I'm going to make this line horizontal, make this one vertical. I'm just clicking each of these lines until everything looks nice and in line with each other. Okay, you can see my end lines are not matched up, so make sure you bring those points over. Okay, so now I'm going to drag this note down to this box so I can get rid of these extra lines. Okay, so now I really simplified this. So I'm going to zoom in, add in a note, put in a text box here, type in my name. Remember, you are dealing with Gothic style lettering. my signature, just go ahead and choose something that's kind of like a signature. Like some sort of script will work. And then for the date, I'll just put in the 1st of this month. Okay. So make sure everything fits. If you need to extend your lines, you can. Just drag everything over. We want to line up our titles with the edge of our title block. Okay, so I have my name, my signature, the date, what dimensions we're going to be working with, a note for our edges, what material we're in. I have revision A, the company name, Lego project for the title, and configurations. So this is what your title block should look like. Go ahead and go back in to your sheet format. I'm going to change my document window into millimeters just so all my dimensions come out correctly. So once you have this done, you're going to go to File and Save Sheet Format. Remember, do this on your personal computers. If you were to do it on the school computer, as soon as you log out, it's going to be reset. So if you're on your personal computer, save it as Lego Project Template. And then hit Save. I've already created the template, that's why I had that note. And then once you're done, every time you insert a drawing, when you scroll through, instead of selecting A3 ISO, you can browse and find your Lego project template. Then you won't have to create it again. So it's one step out of the way. So now we have our template created. You were supposed to do this for lecture 16 work and move on to the milestone assignment. So I have milestone 4 pulled up. This is where we're going to start doing our technical drawings. Now I am going to put in part numbers for the off-roader. However, the setup is going to be the same whether you're doing the off-roader, the helicopter, or the fire truck. So to begin, it first says this project will require students to practice the following SolidWorks skills: technical drawings, multi-view layouts, isometric views, dimensioning, dimensions, notes, title block, and tables. So we've already done our title block. You must create a CAD drawing for all the Lego parts that have been created already. So these are the parts you create in your configurations. If you're doing the off-roader, you created 4 Lego parts. We are not going to include skinny brick or that 2x1 parent file for any of the projects. Then you'll create your 3 derived parts drawings. And then that last drawing that you made the milestone 3 part off of. That will be a lecture work assignment, so you can put that one off till last. So let's start with the beginning. It is create a part drawing for configuration bricks. So you're going to create a new part drawing. You'll insert a component, create a multi-view drawing, so front, top, and side drawing with thin lines shown, an isometric view with shaded edges. So let's do that to begin with. So now that I have my drawing template, go to View Layout. Go and select your standard view icon. Let's browse for the file we need. So mine is under Design Projects, Milestone 2. So it would be our skinny brick off-roader part, or your skinny brick file under your milestone 2. Once I select it, it automatically comes up. So I have my front view, my top view, and my side view. If your views don't look like this, remember, select your front view. Your standard view orientations you can change. You will get this warning saying that all 3 of them will be affected. Hit OK. It will update all 3 views. I'm going to go back to that front view. You only want to change your view orientation if for some reason you drew your sketches on the wrong plane to begin with. Also, under reference configuration, you can choose which file you want to use. I'm going to stick with just the 3x2 because you can see it the best on the drawing. But if you wanted, you could choose the black 4x2. Make sure you select each view and change it so they are all updated. So I'm going to stick with the yellow 3x2. I'm going to hit OK. With my front view selected still, I'm going to go up to the projected view, bring out a projection view up to the top upper right corner for my isometric. Once you place it, you can just move it around. You can change the display style with this toolbar on the very top of your drawing document page or on the feature tree manager. We want our isometric to be shaded with edges. I'm going to select that front view again, bring down another projected view for that underneath view. Now you can see that my part is getting pretty squished, so I'm going to move everything up. I'm also going to select the front view so everything will change. Scroll down on my feature tree manager and change the scaling. So I'm going to select use custom scale. Right now I'm at 5:1. I'm going to scale this down to 4:1 and hit OK. See, all of my parts have updated to that 4:1 scale. You can also change one of the values listed if you don't want to use user defined for your scaling. I'm going to hit OK. I'm also going to select that front view and add in the hidden lines visible. I need to see the hidden lines in my front and side view so I can see that depth of the cut. However, in my top and bottom view, I do not need to see the hidden lines visible. So I'm going to select the bottom and the top views only and select just my hidden lines removed icon. Then hit OK. So now I have my front view, my top view, my bottom view, and my side view. On the rest of your drawings, we're not requiring you to do a bottom view. We're only going to do it on this configuration drawing. So let's make sure you have all of your center marks. If you don't, you can go to the annotation tab, select center mark, and then your diameter of your circle, and it will place it in. Since mine already come up, I don't like how large they are. So I'm going to go under display attributes, uncheck the document defaults, uncheck the extended lines, so now they're smaller. You can also increase or decrease the size here. I'm just going to put them at 2, and I think they look a little better smaller, and hit OK. Zoom out, do the same thing with the bottom. So most of them I already have, but I don't want those extended lines. I'm going to change this to about 1 and hit OK. You can hold down the control key, select all of them at once, and do the same thing. So you're not doing it over and over. And hit OK. You can see this one's missing one, so go up to that center mark icon under your annotation tab. Select center mark, then select the diameter of that circle. Now we're going to hit OK once it's there, but we're going to select it and make it smaller. So uncheck the document defaults, the extended lines, and add it into 1 millimeter and hit OK. Same with these extended lines. For some reason they want to come out at the very edge, so I'm just going to select them, uncheck the extended lines just so it's in the center of my circle, and hit OK. So I'm just cleaning up this drawing. Remember to save as you do this. So File, Save As. This is going to be known as your configuration drawing for your off-roader. Or if you have a fire truck or the helicopter, you can just call it Configurations Drawing, Milestone 4, save it in your submission folder. Hit Save. So now I'm going to go in and add in my dimensions. So go to Smart Dimension. You can also just, if you select your front view, you can add in your dimensions or import your dimensions. But I like to just add them in myself so I make sure they're all there. So I'm going to select my Smart View icon. So you would select the model items icon if you wanted to import them. Let's just see the difference. So if I select that the front view, select that model view icon, hit OK. Alright, let's just go and Smart Dimension them ourselves. So this is where looking back at the PowerPoint will help you, because I've added in the dimensions you need. So you need your total length, which is listed here, my total depth. We need the placement of our nodes, so select that center mark in our top area. Make sure it's not coming out at an angle like this. You want an actual value. So we had it distance from 4 from the top and 4 from the bottom, or top and side. Place in those dimensions. Since my value is pretty small, I'm just going to leave it on the outside of my dimensions. Just make sure they're clear to read. Then we need to know how far apart are these two circles from each other. You can see I'm just selecting the circles. That's because they already automatically call out where the midpoints are. I'm going to line these up so they're easy to read. And then how far apart do we make each of the spaces? So 8 millimeters. Then we need to have our diameter. So now our diameter is 5, but we want to come over to our Feature Tree Manager under the dimension text and add in our shorthand. So the shorthand is going to be for this drawing 6x space. So 6 times the diameter of 5. I'm going to hit enter and I'm going to put in config changes. Because we're going to add in a table, we can have our configuration changes because we'll call out the notes that these nodes will change depending on the size of our brick. So now I have my top view dimensioned. So my side view, I'm only going to call out the dimension of the height of my node right here. Then for my front view, I'm going to call out the height of the brick itself, and then I'm going to call out the height of this depth. I'm going to zoom out. So now I'm going to add in my dimensions on this underneath view. So we need the spacing of our circle to know its position. We need the diameter of the inner circle and the diameter of the outer circle. Then we need to call out that wall thickness. This is to deal with our shell feature. So remember, you shelled these features or these bricks, then did that additional cut. So our shell was 1.5 throughout our whole part. Then our additional cut called out in this front view was the one giving us the final dimension of 1.8. You normally do not dimension to hidden lines, but we need to know this interior cut. So it is okay to dimension this hidden line here so we know the depth of the cut needed. You could do it like this, or you could also do like a section view, but we haven't covered that yet. So I'm going to go back under the dimension text and next to that 1.5 dimension, I'm going to type in wall thickness and hit OK. Move the dimension out so it's easy to read. Make sure everything's placed. Okay. And that's all the dimensions we need to build this brick. So now we're going to add in our table. So you're going to go up to the top, go to Insert, and Tables, and select General Table. So for our columns, we need to have a column for part number, color, the configuration, and a description. So we need 4 columns. Now your rows are going to change. If you're dealing with the off-roader, you had 4 parts you built. If you're dealing with a helicopter, I feel like you had 6, and with a fire truck you might have had 6. So your rows will change. So since I'm building this for the off-roader, I'm just going to do 4 rows and hit OK. Then go ahead and place your table down. I like to put it right above the title block. You can move it around as well after you've placed it. So I'm going to zoom in so we can type on this. Okay, so now just double click in this cell. So this is going to be part number. Remember, you're doing all this in Gothic style lettering, so all caps. Color, config, and then description. So now the description was probably confusing in the milestone assignment. So I want to clear that up now. It's just going to talk about the underneath annulus. So in the milestone, I had that you just did a rectangular brick. It was a quick description. But you really want to call out the underneath annulus because this is going to be changing as well. That's why we need that underneath view. So as we get more nodes on the top, we're going to have more underneath annulus. Remember, an annulus is just a circle within a circle. So for part number, I'm going to start with this part number, so 302124. You will do the part numbers that you built for your Lego kit depending on your Lego project. So if you're doing the off-roader, you did 302124. The color is yellow. Your configuration is 3x2. So the configuration goes with our top nodes, 3x2. That's why we have configuration changes. Our description is going to be 2 underneath annulus. Because we have 2 for this brick. So zoom in. I'm going to need to add in another row. So my next part number is 302026. This one is black. And it is 4x2. So if it's 4x2, it has 3 underneath annulus. Remember, your parts have 1 less annulus as it does in your top features. My third part is 42111094. This part is gray. It is a 2x2, so it has 1 underneath annulus. Then my last part is 4211001. It also is gray. It is a 4x1. And it has no annulus underneath. So if you're working with the fire truck or the off-roader, you're going to list all the part numbers you made in Milestone 2 under your skinny brick. You will not list skinny brick. You will not list the 2x1 parent. Only the part numbers from your Lego kit that you built. You will list each of their colors, what their configurations are, so those nodes on the top. Then, for the description, you're going to list how many underneath annulus they have. Make sure, once you finish your table, that you move it so you can see it easily. If you put it right above your table title block, it's easy to read. This is all that your Lecture 16 work should be, and wraps up your Milestone 4, the first part of your drawing. So once you've created your title block, you've saved that template, you've created this drawing. This drawing now covers each of those parts you built in that skinny brick configuration. So instead of making 4 different drawings for the off-roader Lego project, you are making one drawing, including this table, that lists every part number, color, configuration, and description for the skinny brick. Now you are done with the first part of Milestone 4. Next, you will move on to create your part drawings. This is where you will create the part drawings for the 3 derived parts you created, as well as creating a part drawing for your Milestone 3 part you built. But we will do that one as a lecture work assignment, so you can wait. Then you need to build your new Lego parts, which each project had 6 new parts, and then create a part drawing for each of those. It will include a front, top, and side view, like here, and your isometric view. You will not have an underneath view or a table. You will have dimensions, so just follow the directions. This is the only drawing that you're going to have the table of your configurations in. If you have any questions with this milestone or the layout of this drawing, please email me and let's get it figured out. But this is what we are looking for your Lecture 16 work and the first part of your Lego milestone.